Good morning. My name is Rudy Thompson. Today I will be giving a brief introduction on planned communication management and why it is important to our project. Planned communication management is defined by the Project Management Institute as the process of developing an appropriate approach and plan for project communication activities based on information needs of each stakeholder or group, available organizational assets, and the needs of the project. This plan is important because it ensures all communication related needs for all project participants are met. This is done by the creation of a project communication document and communication activities. The first step is to create the plan. The second step is to put it into action. The key benefit is that information is efficiently distributed in a timely manner and that stakeholders are engaged. This plan should be created early on in the project lifecycle. It should be reviewed and updated regularly, especially if stakeholders change or if entering a new project phase. It creates clear lines of communication by detailing how communication will be planned, structured, implemented, and monitored. This plan will utilize practices in its creation that include stakeholders in project reviews and project meetings, utilize social computing, and utilize a multifaceted approach to communication. When tailoring a plan communication management document, you need to consider stakeholders, physical location, communication technology, language, and knowledge management. It also needs to make considerations for agile environments if and when applicable. This plan details what the stakeholder communication requirements are, including what information each stakeholder requires, what format they need to receive it in, the level of detail required, how frequently they need it, and who is responsible for delivering it. It will also detail that same information for some project participants, as well as detail the escalation process and the methods and technologies that will be utilized on the project. This plan is key to the success of all communication on this project and will ensure that nothing falls through the cracks and that nobody on the project has any surprises. In order in order to create the planned communications management document, we need to first assess and analyze the project charter, project management plan, previously created project documents, enterprise environmental factors, and organizational process assets. This is necessary in order to gather the relevant information needed to satisfy the requirements of this document. These documents and factors create a clear picture of what needs to be distributed to who and when, how we can and will distribute them, as well as other important project related information. The project charter identifies key stakeholders and their roles and responsibilities. The stakeholder register is a project document that contains information about stakeholder requirements, expectations, potential for influencing project outcomes, and where they have the most impact or influence. The stakeholder classification model gives additional information on the stakeholder, including if they are internal, external, their impact, influence, power, and interests. These documents also detail the stakeholders' requirements list. These requirements need to be unambiguous, traceable, complete, and both consistent and acceptable to all stakeholders. All of these documents contain important information that will ensure stakeholder engagement and utility for the entire life cycle of the project. In order to satisfy all organizational informational needs, determine organizational informational capabilities, as well as to ensure that this project is in line with all organizational policies and procedures, this plan needs to assess organizational process assets. The Project Management Institute defines this as plans, processes, policies, procedures, and knowledge bases that are specific to and used by the performing organization. This will ensure that our project communication is in line with all organizational standards. This includes, but is not limited to, policies and procedures for issues, risks, change, and data management, policies and procedures on social media, ethics and security, historical information, and lessons learned repository, and other data and information from other previous projects. This process also assesses the organization's communication requirements in order to keep them up to date with all necessary information. The plan will also assess enterprise environmental factors. These are the factors that are not under the control of the project team and might affect the project. According to the Project Management Institute, they include organizational culture, political climate, personnel admin policies, stakeholder risk thresholds, established communication channels, tools and systems, global regional trends, practices, habits, and geographic distribution and resources. Analyzing the enterprise environmental factors and the organizational process assets will create a clear and detailed approach for the overall communication plan of the project, ensuring that this project is aligned with organizational policies, procedures, abilities, and culture. It will also identify the project management systems that will be utilized during the project, including electronic project management tools, electronic communication management tools, and social media management. This plan will also detail how, when, and why team members need to communicate and how they will receive communication. This is important because it outlines all the necessary information that teams need from stakeholders and the organization and how and when it needs to be distributed to them. This is how we will keep everyone up to date on the project status and project, as well as any issues or changes that need to be addressed. It will include information on project documents relevant to the team, such as change log, issue log, lessons learned, register, quality report, risk report. It will also include information on work performance reports, such as status reports and progress reports. These two reports contain information, trends, forecasts, contract performance information, risk summaries, and will create awareness and generate decision making action. This is very important in order to keep the project within the triple constraints and to deliver quality work. It also outlines project reporting, which differs from work performance report. Project reporting may utilize the generation of ad hoc reports, project presentations, blogs, or other types of communication about the project. Lastly, the planned communication management document might include guidelines and templates for status and team meetings. This document is very important to the success of the project because it addresses communication in a holistic way. It addresses all project participants at every level and details how and why they need to communicate, as well as internal and external organizational and environmental factors and how they can or will impact the project. This plan will create a document that anyone can look at from any level and know everything about the information of the project and how it is being managed.